How's it going? Well, my name is RickySenpai and welcome to this brand new video. Today's video we will be reviewing the brand new Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie, which came out on the 25th of February. That was the international release, but this movie came out in Japan last year around October. And to much fanfare, this movie is the #1 grossing movie in Japan. So it's some serious heat when you're able to be the #1 movie in Japan, even though you're an animated movie. But its international release came out on the 25th of February, which was about 2 days ago here in New Zealand. And me and my buddy Simba Sensei went ahead to check it out. And to much fanfare, there was a lot of cosplayers there, and there was also a lot of fans there as well. So going on to try book some tickets, there were a couple of sessions that was already sold out. So you can tell that the fame of Demon Slayer, or Kimetsu no Yaiba for the weebs out there, is nothing short of amazing, especially here in New Zealand. And it's one of those movies where it's been a long time coming, because, you know, being a massive fan of Demon Slayer, my love and curiosity of Demon Slayer rivals that of Naruto. So for me to finally have some Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba content to dive into and to sink my teeth into, it's very much welcomed. During 2019, it's been a while since the first season came out, so it's you know, like I said, I'm really happy that we can finally sink our teeth into it. I know a lot of people have probably already watched it, but they have probably watched the legal way. But my friends, I do urge you, if you are a fan of Demon Slayer and you have the money, or if you don't have the money, ask your parents or your friend to support our content creators and Studio Ufotable and the screenwriters who put this movie together by purchasing a ticket to support them and get along to watch the movie. You guys definitely won't be disappointed. So to get into the review, we will be reviewing the Demon Slayer movie in 4 parts, and that will be the plot, the fight scenes, animations, and then we'll give a final score. And to get into the Demon Slayer review, just so you guys can finally listen to our hot takes, the plot line will begin our first review point. So pretty much going off what we've already seen in the manga. If you are a manga reader, you will know exactly, or manga reader, you will know exactly what's happening in the movie. It's based on the Mugen Train arc in the manga, and this is just pretty much a visual representation of what's going to happen. And if you haven't read the manga, then I think you'll find the plotline quite average at best, only because it's a predictable plotline. So getting into the plot, for people who read the manga, you know exactly what happens. For people that haven't, the plotline is quite predictable. From the moment you meet our 4 characters, which is Rengoku, Innoske, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu. Oh, and don't forget Nezuko. You know, it kind of eases you into the moments. You know, it shows a adorable scene where, you know, the crew walks in and they see the Chad that is Rengoku eating his food. You know, and they kind of sit there and talk and exchange sentences, and immediately it dives into a point where they fall asleep on the train, and it gets to a point where they eventually their dreams are being invaded, where they go into a dream where they see things that puts them at ease, if that makes sense. It puts them in peace. And what that plot line does is that you kind of understand each character, and you kind of understand and see where really their love and beliefs take point, because it's a movie with a plot line that people who read the manga already know, but to those who haven't, it kind of reminisces and reminds you of the journey that they've come through, and the journey and the personalities and the things that make them up as a character in the movie. So in terms of opening up with that as the plot line, I thought it was amazing. You know, it kind of slowed down a little bit towards the big fight between Innoske and Tanjiro and, you know, the lower moon demon, but it's kind of where it picks up, you know, because everyone who read the manga was looking forward to the fight between Rengoku and Akaza. I think that's how you say his name. And that's the cool thing about it, is because we were expecting a fireworks of a fight, you know, because I think it's the first big fight in the manga where you really see the upper moon take on the flame Hashira. So it was exciting. So in terms of plotline, it's kind of slow towards the middle, but it starts building up near the end to end in something that was pretty climactic. So the plotline, I would give it a C+, or B- at the most, only because it is a predictable plotline, but it sets the precedent at the start because it introduces the characters and it puts you at ease in a way where you kind of just feel attached to the characters right off the bat. It does slow down towards the fight between the Lower Moon, Innoske, and Tanjiro, but it picks back up right again with Akaza fighting Flame Hashira Rengoku, who's a Chan. Moving on to fight scenes, and the fight scenes which I think is where it kind of takes off, you know. In particular, because I think this was in 60 frames per second, which, you know, it's anything in 60 frames per second is amazing, you know. But to see it in 4K resolution on the big screen, it's just one of those things where you have to watch this movie on a big screen. The fight scenes, you know, I was quite excited for them. You know, I would give the fight scenes, I'll give it a B+, only because I've kind of visualized everything in my head already. In the manga, you know, the fight scenes, the way the art style has been drawn by Koyoharu, it's amazing, you know. Like to see the amount of detailing and the amount of artistry that's gone into the manga in terms of the fight scenes. You know, I was curious to see what it would look like on the screen, and you know, Studio Ufotable did a really good job to portray that on screen. You know, I was sitting there and just watching the fight scenes and the interactions between, you know, Rengoku and Agaza, and you know, seeing the fight scenes between Innoske and Tanjiro, you know, and the Lower Moon Demon, and also to see them throughout, throughout the entirety of the train, where the train is trying to eat them pretty much, you know, to see those fight scenes there. The fight scenes are pretty much it's not what makes the movie, in my opinion. I think what makes the movie more is the animations, and the fight scenes will kind of tie into the animations, you know. So jumping into the animations is beautiful. Everyone knows that Studio Ufotable, you know, they are the masters when it comes to animation. I know that Demon Slayer did win Animation of the Year, I think a couple of years ago, 2019, I think, at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. So, you know, the ceiling is set really high, because, you know, I couldn't stop tweeting about it. You know, just the way the animations did justice to this movie was something of like fine whiskey. You know, the more and more you got into the movie and the more you waited, the more the animations kind of carried it. Because, you know, when it came to the certain fight scenes, you know, particularly Rengoku and Akaza, the animations there were was top tier. You couldn't really complain about anything when it comes to animation, because when it comes to the tip top or the A+ of animation, you can't go wrong with what Studio Ufotable has done. So definitely animation gets an A+ from me, because hey, when it comes to animating, Ufotable does a really good job. So to give a final score and to keep this review nice and short, I will give this movie an A-. You know, the only reason why I didn't get an A++ or A+ was the fact that the plot line and the plot story was predictable. You knew exactly what was going to happen if you weren't a manga reader, but for those who read the manga, you knew exactly what was going to happen. So that's the only reason why it got an A-. And for those people saying that, bruh, you know, you're just saying this because you're a big fan, you know, I am a big fan, but you also have to give credit to the good things that they've done. You know, because if you were to measure this based on anything wrong they've done, you can honestly say that the plot line was the weak point. You know, it was predictable and you knew what was going to happen, but everything else they nailed. You know, the animations, the fight scenes, you know, character development, because you really did see Tanjiro grow throughout this movie. Even though it's a movie, you see him grow as a character. You know, it really got my heart when you see the young lad, when he's seen his family during his dream, and you can tell that he was at a loss, that he wished that he was in that moment and he stayed there with his family. But you know, it's one of those things where the plot line was predictable, and that's the only reason why I got an A-. It's a really good series, and I'll stand by that. You know, I will stand by that with everything that I say. So anyways, that was a short review, just to, you know, give you guys a bit of a glimpse of what I thought about the movie, because we are huge anime fans here at the Nesians family. So if you haven't checked out the movie, please go on ahead and check it out. And my only wish for you guys is, do not watch this the wrong way. Please support our animators. Like we've said in our prior videos, if you want to support the animators, you get out there and pay a couple of dollars, you know, to get in there and watch it, because that's the least we can do to thank them for all the amazing work that they continue to do. So, and that's my phone, someone's messaging me at this time of the night. But definitely go on through and check it out, because my friends, it is one of those movies, if you love anime, you would definitely enjoy this. So anyways, that's me with our short review. My name is RickySenpai, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See ya.